Welcome back, YouTube fam, or in my case, most people who watch my videos are my actual family members. Today, I'm staying in my hometown in the OKC, and headed to the Diamond Ballroom to see Dragged Under, Wage War, and Beartooth. For those of you not familiar with the Diamond Ballroom, it's located on the south side of Oklahoma City.
Southside.
I think at one time I heard it used to be a skating rink, and whenever you step inside, that totally checks out. This was my third time at a show at the Diamond, with my first show being all the way back in 2003, whenever I went and saw Simple Plan and Bowling for Soup. The venue is not really anything special, but there is a couple of cool things with it. For one, if you're a smoker, there's an outside area for you to go smoke in. If you want to go get a fresh breath of air, you're fucked because people are out there smoking. And two, next to the restrooms, there is a pretty cool autographed guitar memorabilia display, so definitely get there early and check that out. Before I get to the bands, full disclosure here, screamo metal isn't my favorite genre. I definitely don't mind it and generally love the energy, but there's not many bands out there who I listen to on the reg who have that kind of style. With that being said, let's get on to the first band. First band is Dragged Under, and I really felt bad for these guys. First off, the lead singer ended up getting COVID right before the tour started, and they weren't able to perform for the first couple of weeks, and this was their first show back. But one of the band members had a family emergency. I think it was the lead guitarist. Someone correct me in the comments. So they only did an acoustic set with two of the band members. It's really unfortunate because of the three bands on the card. This is the one that I actually liked most when listening to their music on Spotify. So they ended up playing 5 songs or so, with one of them being a cover of Free Fallin' by Tom Petty. After they played that, they jokingly took a request and someone suggested Dust in the Wind, and they actually played it, and they actually knew it, so it was pretty cool. I'm going to give them a grade of incomplete. It's hard to give them a grade without them having their full band out there and their full equipment, so I think it would be unfair to grade them. But definitely an E for effort. Second up is Wage War. Now, I didn't look up the band's origin story to find out who or what they are waging a war against, but if you know, feel free to comment. Like I said earlier, not really a screamo metal guy, but for the most part, I enjoy these guys. The 5-member band got the crowd going with their heavy guitars, heavy drum beats, and boisterous vocals. Midway through their set, Caleb Shomo of Beartooth came out for a little cameo, which was pretty cool. Not sure if that was planned or not, but it was pretty dope. And yes, there was plenty of moshing going on in the crowd. As with most metal shows like this, avoid the middle area of the crowd as it can get a little rough at times. The show also set the record for most times I've ever seen people crowd surf, which is impressive to me considering there was maybe 1,000 people max at this show. Although fair warning for those who want to crowd surf, there was a lady who was maybe 18 or 19 who got dropped right in front of you, and my god, I heard a huge thump on the floor, so bit of a scary moment. Hopefully she's okay. I didn't see anything in the news about anyone dying at the show, but man, she took a pretty big fall. Wage War ended up playing for about 45 minutes, and they had me in a huge sweat, but that may be because I'm fat and I wore a mask the whole entire time. That's another thing. If you decide to go to a show in Oklahoma, indoors, the Delta variant is spreading, so please, if you're not vaccinated, go do so. But also, I would advise wearing a mask. But in Oklahoma, there is not a lot of people wearing a mask indoors. Most places don't even mandate it, so just fair warning. My grade for Wage War is a B+. Before I get to Beartooth, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Also, follow me on the Facebook at HD's Concert Review. And for the headliner, it's Beartooth, and the crowd was pretty pumped for these guys. Like I said earlier, I've heard the name, but it's probably just because I've heard the words bear and tooth. After doing a little bit of research, it appears they were a Christian rock band to begin with, or at least they were labeled that way. So with me not being religious, that gave me a little bit of pause. But with the way Shomo was laying out a lot of F-bombs, that was definitely not the case. Crowd was into them, but I also feel like having a band like Wage War playing right before them is going to take a little bit of heat from the crowd, Because, man, like a band like Wage War, they're just so intense, and I feel like it took a lot out of them. But it was a younger crowd, and they were still into them. But for me, being 40 plus, I was getting a little zapped myself. With that all being said, the lead singer is about as energetic as I've ever seen anyone in all the shows I've ever been to. I felt the music for the most part was really good. The vocals, really on both bands, Wage War and Beartooth, I couldn't make out what any of those guys were saying, so I don't know, just the way they sing or the equipment, or just that I'm not familiar with their music. But I always feel like an asshole whenever I go to a show and it's a band I'm not familiar with, and they're all like, "All right, everybody, let's hear it." Like, I was just glad I had a mask on, because again, I feel like a douche if I don't know the words to a song. Even though I'm not in their music that much, I feel like if you are a fan of this band, then you're going to have a great time at one of their shows. My grade of Beartooth is a solid B. My pros for this show are Wage War, Dust in the Wind, and Caleb Shomo's energy. My cons are not knowing the songs, too much crowd surfing, and not a lot of mask wearing. Next time on HD's Concert Review, I'll be headed down to Dallas to the Dos Equis Pavilion for the KEGL's BFD with The Offspring, Chevelle, POD, and more. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your life.